So today is the 15th of September, week 5, day 5. Oh, it's week 6 actually. Well, it doesn't matter at this point. It's September 15th at Barton. Um, so I tried to guide a reading again today with the strategic group in Lead 21. By the way, I do have the teacher manuals, so definitely. Um, I know you wanted to take a little bit of a closer examination of them. It's funny because today I actually started to get a little frustrated, maybe a strong word, but definitely I had some concerns about us not using all of the components of Lead 21. Um, I feel like it has some very positive things going on in it. I feel like there are some very interesting things that happen with it. I like the idea that it's kind of Fontes and Pinnell like with balanced literacy. Um, but it presents you with all the materials. And so I definitely feel like Lead 21 offers a safe space to experiment with balanced literacy because the stakes are not as high because you have, um, pre-made materials like pre-made lesson plans and textbooks and so on. I've started to ask Miss Laney, excuse me, I've started to ask Miss Laney to experiment with adding the components. So today we have one child in advanced, and excuse me, we have one child in advanced, and I wanted to experiment with her playing the games, the word games, during the differentiated reading time. You'll see all this on the schedule. Um, that I'll show you. That's in the textbook. Um, and Miss Laney let me do it. Um, I know they're doing the 2 weeks. I think I've said this before, but I think I'm even more convinced that during the 2 weeks, I really want to utilize these, these other components. Um, I don't know. I feel like in some ways the kids might be missing out on some instruction. Um, and I at least would like to see Lead 21 used to its full capabilities and capacity before I pass judgment on the curriculum. Also, something else that's coming out or this resurfacing is my dislike for teaching mathematics. Um, I'm just not interested in teaching it. Of course, I will do it for UTEP, and there's a math takeover in December. I remember earlier this year, my stance was that I'm going to teach math the uh, through the tutoring, through the summer experience because we were forced to do math in summer, um, and then the math takeover, and then I'm not teaching math again. That's how I'm feeling. Um, that doesn't mean, I mean, who knows if I will be teaching it at some point. But I'm definitely realizing that it may not be that I dislike math. I'm sorry, dislike teaching math because I like doing math. The thing is, though, as much as I enjoy teaching literacy, um, it far outweighs how much my experience towards math instruction. Um, and got to be honest with you, it's not, the UTEP experience has not been very helpful in that respect. Um, it really hasn't been helpful at all. Um, Also, today for the do now, which is the bell work when they first get in the classroom, I tried the triangle game, which is what we did in math class. It went over okay. I didn't fully explain everything. I forgot to explain that you can't use numbers more than once, and that you can only use numbers 1 through 6. Two people were able to figure out answers. But I wonder how much that tainted their experience with it. Most of them gave a side thumb. They kind of like it, kind of. They're not really sure. Um, but it's interesting. I mean, I could tell it definitely pushed their thinking. Even the kids that typically come off as higher performing, one of them was like, "I'm not. I don't get this." Um, and the funny thing is that it's simple mathematics. It's simple addition. Like it's not anything like trading, which I feel like is um not difficult, but some of this everyday math stuff just really, I feel like in some ways produces a much more complicated way of looking at it. Although I do understand that it does produce actual understanding, um, which I'm not sure if the traditional math instruction I've experienced as a child produced understanding. I think it just produced proficiency. So I definitely see the difference between everyday math and what I'm used to. That doesn't mean I like it anymore. Um, Even today, though, I did learn something while watching Miss Laney do the trading. Um, but I'm also thinking about the fact that we don't really use that to its full capacity either. Um, I definitely have questions about. I mean, I don't know. Miss Laney might have done this already, right? I just met her. But I definitely have concerns about the ways that people, and I'll include myself sometimes, right? The way that people pass judgments on things without fully giving themselves over to it to see what it can do. Um, I definitely feel like to a certain extent that the environment I'm in, people check in and check out of things almost at will. They use this, they don't use this. To a certain extent, I feel like they're doing more work because they have to essentially create things, even though those things are created for them. And I frankly am not interested in recreating the wheel. Um, and one other thing that did cross my mind when I think about teaching like urban prep, ninth grade more than likely history class, I would definitely probably set up like a workshop model in it. Um, but I'm wondering about what that would look like for ninth grade. I mean, our degree is K through 9, and everything we have is K through 8. I mean, I've been a little frustrated about that all year. And definitely now the teaching is in a better place. All those frustrations that I've had about UTEP have kind of resurfaced. But not in a way that makes me feel like I want to check out. It just makes me feel like I need to do a little bit more research. I want to know what's going on in a high school classroom where English, literacy, math, history, where all of these things are being taught effectively. And at this point, I understand that we're doing K8. The funny thing is, though, I ain't even touched no fifth graders. And so there's a whole side of this degree that I have no post UTEP experience in. And that's frustrating. Um, because I want to see what this looks like in a middle school classroom. I want to see the middle school classrooms I have seen. I don't particularly think they're doing anything great. And it's not like the kids aren't learning. I'm just not, I just want to see what this stuff looks like with them. Um, and so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I definitely find myself in a place where I'm not upset about teaching fourth graders. I want to be departmentalized, but I definitely have concerns about working in an elementary school, um, where if I'm in 5 and down, where it's departmentalized when I first get there, and then all of a sudden it's not anymore. Or I just need to figure out an innovative way to teach math that is also engaging to me, but also have the patience to deal with the children as they transition to this new kind of math that they may not have seen before. That's it for now. Signing off.